Welcome back. We're continuing our discussion with attorney Heidi Gettle about ABLE accounts and trusts that can help adults with disabilities. Thanks again for joining us, Heidi.
Thank you.
We left off talking about ABLE accounts. Medicaid has a look-back period. I think that's the last 5 years of financial statements are reviewed. Is an ABLE account exempt from that look-back?
It can be. So contributions that you make of your own funds, whether from income or Social Security or gifts or inheritance that you transfer into a qualified ABLE account, those would be exempt from the 5-year look-back period for the account owner. Some gifts by relatives, there are certain exceptions to the 5-year look-back period that might qualify for a disabled adult child if you make contributions for the gift donors 5-year look-back period for Medicaid. But for other gifts by third parties into an account by friends or family, that would be subject to the 5-year look-back period for that own person, the person who made the gift. If they needed Medicaid down the road, the 5-year look-back period for them would take into consideration the contribution to someone else's ABLE account.
Okay. So let's say I'm on Medicaid and I have an ABLE account and I die. There are funds remaining in that account. Do the funds that are left over have to be returned to Medicaid?
They do. So there's what's called a Medicaid payback requirement for an ABLE account, and when the account owner dies, they figure out how much Medicaid has paid on behalf of that account owner during their lifetime, and the remaining funds in the ABLE account go toward reimbursing Medicaid for those expenses. And then if there's any balance after that, it would go to the account owner's designated beneficiaries or into their estate.
Okay, so we're going to switch gears a bit, and we're going to talk about special needs trusts. So tell us about those and how are they different from an ABLE account?
So a trust and a special needs trust is a ownership and management arrangement for funds. So a trustee owns and manages property for the benefit of a beneficiary, the beneficiary of the trust. And that can be held in different kinds of investments. So that the trust property can be held by the trustee in investments or accounts. And so it's different from an ABLE account because an ABLE account is a particular kind of account and it's owned directly by the account owner, whereas a trust is owned for the benefit of the account owner by a trustee. So the way that they're similar is that a special needs trust is also a kind of exempt asset from that $2,000 resource limit. So special needs trusts they're different kinds, but they're used also to help people have additional sources of income and assets in addition to public benefits like Medicaid and Social Security without losing eligibility for those important benefits.
Are there age restrictions for the beneficiary of a special needs trust?
There are two different kinds of special needs trusts primarily. One is set up with a person's own funds, so a gift or inheritance or like funds in an ABLE account. Those are called self-settled special needs trusts, and those can only be created for people under age 65. Third-party special needs trusts that are funded with not the beneficiary's money, but a third party, say someone who made a gift, a family member who left their estate to a person with disabilities, those don't have an age limit for the beneficiary's age.
What can be bought or paid for out of the special needs trust?
With the self-settled special needs trusts, again, any kind of qualified expenses that help people have a better quality of life with some limitations. If distributions are made from a self-settled special needs trust for housing or food, that can impact their the calculation of their supplemental security income benefit. So generally we avoid making distributions from trusts for housing and food, but pretty much any other kind of expenses that are directly for the beneficiary are permissible from that kind of trust. Third-party special needs trusts are more flexible and can really be used for anything that will improve the welfare and quality of life of the beneficiary of that kind of trust, including housing and food and other things that could still impact their SSI calculation, but aren't as limited that way.
Does a special needs trust have a limit as to how much can be contributed into it?
It is unlimited how much could be contributed into a special needs trust if it's qualified and continues to have that exempt resource treatment. It has an unlimited amount that can be in it.
We talked earlier about how to set up an ABLE account. How does someone set up a special needs trust?
So generally you would work with an attorney who is knowledgeable about public benefits and trust law. It can be kind of complex to establish a trust document that governs that arrangement and to properly fund the trust by retitling accounts or changing beneficiary designations. So it would usually be advisable to work with an attorney to set up trusts.
So speaking of attorneys, what if an individual does not have the means to afford an attorney? What do they do?
Well, many attorneys will act pro bono for certain circumstances for people with financial need, or there's a modest means program, so they might have a reduced fee for their services so that it can make it more affordable. There's also Montana Legal Services can help connect people with pro bono legal services, and the State Bar of Montana has a specific modest means program where attorneys have signed up who are willing to work at reduced rates for people who can't otherwise afford it.
Thank you, Heidi, and thank you, John, for being on our show. We hope you'll be back next week. Until then, stay fit, stay well, and stay healthy for life with Healthy Living for Life.
Healthy Living for Life is brought to you by Mountain Pacific Quality Health. We'd love to hear from you. If you have suggestions for future programs, visit our website at mpqhf.org or call us at 406-443-4020. You can also catch us on YouTube by visiting our website and clicking on the YouTube icon. Special thanks to Fire Tower Coffee House and Roasters. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions.